I think if you really want to nerd out on it, there's infinite amount of details for something that's so simple. And like I said, it's just pork and salt, and you can hang something up and make something. In the beginning, if you're looking at making products, it's that simple.
This is The Crackling. I'm Anthony Huckstep. Well, I've been looking forward to this one for a long time, to catch up with an old friend and the sausage king of Australia, Luke Powell, LP's Quality Meats. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
It's really good to see you.
You too.
Mate, it's been incredible seeing the growth of LP's Quality Meats. You're in a brand new facility here. What's it feel like being in this space compared to the old one?
The luxury of space is it's a big change. So we've been in here for maybe a year now, and I'll show you around, but like one of the cool rooms is bigger than a whole cool room production space at the old venue, so it's a big change. But yeah, just having that room to move is allowing us to grow, which is good.
Has it made you rethink the possibilities, given the more space?
Yeah, I think there's some products that we're doing now that we didn't intend to, but I think because of the space, we can, we've got massive room. But yeah, I think we're still finding our feet as well. We're just moving slowly and just working out exactly what we need to do to keep growing.
The evolution to this point is quite extraordinary for you. It's been chefing in some of the best restaurants in Australia and head chef of Tetsuya's even, and then having your own place, LP's. Tell us about that first moment though, when you sort of thought about small goods and started to learn that craft and move in that direction.
So I was still working at Tetsuya's. I'd been there for 6 years all up, 2 years as head chef, and I was really itching to open something of my own. Still didn't know what I wanted to do, and started feeling like, wasn't sure what I could do as well. Yeah. So I thought I'd go for one last internship, do a stage somewhere, and so I went to Blue Hill at Stone Barns, upstate New York, and I was there for a month, and the team there was super accommodating, super friendly. And they just said, Adam Kay, who was, Dan Barber's right-hand man, said, if there's anything you want to know here, just let us know. And then he was like, Luke, come upstairs, we're going to make salami today, and we're going to make boudin noir, and we're going to, make sausages. And they had a maturing fridge built into the wine cellar on the side of this hill, and it had like 150 prosciutto specs they'd smoked in there. And I was just like, can you just show me all this? Because I was just mind-blown. And of course, they're pulling the pigs off the farm, and they would get sent away and then come back, and this guy Jose would break them down, and I was just hooked because it was just meat and salt and time, and you could just end up with something so complex. And I hadn't done any butchery like that before. I did it at Polytech in New Zealand, like TAFE, and was not interested at all. Like, didn't want to be a butcher, mucked around a lot, got in trouble, and I just wasn't. Why would I want to do butchery? I want to be a chef, not a butcher. So fast forward a few years, and then I was just I think I found that this was it, because it just felt a lot more hands-on, not real in a sense, but just like a lot more sort of, artisan and had a craft. And I just felt like this was something I wanted to get stuck into.
Well, LP's Quality Meats was the restaurant originally. Yeah. And when I was a restaurant critic back then, and you're not supposed to play favourites, but of that era, it was one of my favourites. You probably know that. I was there a bit.
Yeah. No, it's great.
But that's sort of where you started to showcase some of that.
Yeah.
Tell us about, was there sort of challenges in getting charcuterie in that setting in the restaurant, making it right?
Yeah. And I mean, even looking back now, knowing what I know now, sort of, 13 years later, we've made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of things were done probably incorrectly and could have been a hell of a lot better. But we wanted to open LPs and like I said, get back to some kind of place where it wasn't fine dining, but a lot more sort of handmade and artisan, and had a cracking team there. We had Shannon DeBrasini, who had come over from the Three Products, and Kimmy Gastamere, who now owns Cherry Moon. She was like a weapon on the pastry. So there's just the three of us in the beginning, and I guess we sort of just through I love the saying, but sort of refinement through repetition, just made sausages every day, and some days they were shit and some days they were good, and we didn't know why, but over the years we worked out why, and eventually they got better and better to sort of represent products that we were like, actually this is pretty good. It's like it feels like something legit,
Totally. There was a moment where that was being showcased at the restaurant, but then it started to appear in other restaurants.
Yeah.
Well, how did that get triggered, and what was that like creating for other restaurants in your own restaurant?
Yeah, so we always made all these products for ourselves, and sausages, cold cuts, mortadella, and that was pretty much the cold cut that kicked it off. So we're making mortadella for ourselves. We're using like a 4.5 litre Robo Coupe to make 6 kilo log. There's a lot of batches of blending, and I think it was Mitchell or Acme reached out to us and said, "Hey, Lukey, do you reckon I could put the mortadella in a bologna sandwich at the restaurant?" I'm like, "Yeah, we can do it." And so we started making it, and that was cool. And then Monty reached out from the Dolphins and said, "We want to put it on in the wine room." And yeah, can we do it? And our little machines, buzzing away. And we got to a point where I don't think we can keep doing this because it's too much load with the equipment we have. And so we upgraded the machine, upgraded the processor, and then someone else reached out, and it was a big company, and they were like, "Can we get your product list? We want to stock some of the products." I'm like, "Yeah, this is amazing." And they said, "Yeah, sweet. Do you just want to send us over your New South Wales license number and HACCP plan?" And I was just like, "What the hell is that?" And of course, you're not meant to sell meat to people without a license.
Yeah.
So that set us off on a different path, and we got the license for cooked products, and we were selling small goods at the same time as running the restaurant. And then I think in I don't know what year it was now, but right before COVID happened, we decided to close the restaurant, build like a sort of dedicated small good processing area, reduce the size from 120 seats down to 60, and then that way we could do sort of production Monday to Thursdays and then services Thursday to Sundays. It was crazy. Yeah, it was like too much. And then we decided we're gonna have to choose a lane here because we can't do both. It was too crazy. And we'd done the restaurant for 11 years, and
wow.
We thought that I think we've done our dash, and there's an opportunity here to explore something else, and it was something we were all really interested in. And if we didn't give it a good nudge, we'd never know what the potential would be. So we shut the restaurant, just did production out of that space for a year, and then almost immediately we just outgrew the space. We just couldn't keep up doing the production. We also lodged the application to do the UCFM license, so the fermented salami license, basically. And so we had to get a HACCP consultant in and do that properly, because it was obviously quite a large killer fish to get a UCFM license. But we did it, and I think that just sort of cemented, okay, we're doing this and we're doing it properly, and here we are.
Were there benefits for you coming from a chefing background, moving into that with sort of product creation and what the end result is?
I think so, and I think with all the products we make, we are sort of coming at it with a chef's background, and this is not speaking down about the majority of small good processors or producers, but a lot of the products are made with pre-mixed sausage meals. For instance, you can buy a bratwurst sausage meal and mince the meat and put it in. It's delicious. It's fine. But I think we sort of wanted to go a little bit deeper on that and create our own recipes and toast the spices and grind them fresh to water and blend the garlic and add fresh herbs rather than dried, and all these sort of things that would completely make sense from a chef's perspective. But I think that the end result for us is that you can definitely taste that in the small goods.
Pork is pretty integral to many of your products.
Yeah. Tell
us about the sort of pork program that you have here. Is there a specific type of pig or farmer you work with? And
so we work predominantly with Burradale. So all the pigs are grown by Judy Crow at Western Plains Pork in Victoria. And I think just due to the amounts we go through, we intended to do whole hog sort of program in the very beginning, and we quickly realized that we actually can't do this. We found that we're quite cut specific with a lot of the products, and so for a lot of the sausages and I call them large format products, but sort of large salamis and things, we use a mix of shoulder and fat, and that's just due to the nature of the shoulders. They've got a lot of collagen, a lot of gelatin in them. And they've got a good mix of fat in with the meat. So we became, like I said, quite cut specific. Yeah. And so using whole hogs probably wasn't going to be an option for us, just because of the trimming and the spec that we needed the products the meat to be at. So we opted to go with Burradale. They're pretty much as big as we can get, but still tickle the boxes for us and things like free range and things like that. And we've started to sprinkle in some smaller producers as well, which I think is going to be the way forward for us. So for the majority of our things, we can use the Western Plains pork from Judy, and then we'll start to develop relationships with smaller producers, for instance, like the guys at Hillside Food Forest, Liz and Sam. They've been growing Tamworth pigs, so we did a little project with them where we processed 2 of the huge sows with this layer of fat that you've never seen.
Wow.
And so we've made some lonza and pancetta and lardo and guanciale and salami for them, which ended up really good. And I think these little sprinkling products will become maybe like limited edition, products that we just sort of release at different times.
Tell us a little bit about the range of pork products that you have at the moment, and sort of maybe some of the really key ones for you as a business.
Yeah, so what we don't make a huge range of things. So we're basically like 5 sausages. There's a pig's head sausage, chorizo, parsley pecorino, frankfurters, blood sausage, and then we do 4 large format products. So we do a mortadella, a pepperoni, 2 salami cottos, so cooked salami, 1 mild, 1 hot. And then we do the 1 UCFM product, the saucisson sec, which is the only thing we do in terms of fermenting, but just like a super simple garlic and black pepper, mold ripened French style salami. And then we do a few other things as well, like I mentioned, smoked beef briskets, hams. We make bacon for Clam Bar for a friend of ours. I guess those sort of things, ham and bacon and things like that, we don't do huge volumes. It's just sort of specialty amounts for certain people.
The mortadella was such a key moment for you to go down this path.
Yeah.
Can you take us through the steps of making a mortadella?
Yeah. So we've evolved this so many times throughout the years and just learning as we go. And, for instance, we may have made it at one point and then found that it was really good sliced and served on a plate, but then we found during packaging to be an actual product that didn't behave, and so we had to look back at what we were actually putting in the ingredients, and it was more about meat cuts. In the beginning we were using like shoulders and jowls, and it was just coming out way too gelatinous, and we found that the best thing for us is to use lean meat, so we use leg and then emulsify fat into it. And so basically we get lean leg meat, we mince the pork fat, we put the meat into the mixer, and we add salt, a whole lot of spices, garlic, and then we mix that sort of between 0 and 4 degrees for maybe about 4 to 6 minutes. It gets really tacky. It's called myosin extraction. And then we add the fat into that and mix it through, and then it gets processed in a emulsifier until it's nice and smooth. It gets filled into like a 6 kilo casing, and then we smoke it for about 10 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. It's delicious. Yeah. And it's so funny. And it's like, it was such I felt like during that time as well, I'm not saying it was us, but it did seem to get quite popular for a while there. Like mortadella has seemed to kick off in the last few years. I don't know, it's a nostalgia thing, or I think people were sort of a lot more interested in Italian food now, and you're seeing these big sort of sandwiches and things like that, just sort of hammered with mortadella.
Knowing what you know now with your craft, do you have any tips or sort of tricks when it comes to making charcuterie that people should know about? Yeah,
I think if anyone's interested in doing it, they should probably start with something really simple. Bacon's always a good starting point. It's quite an easy recipe. It's cooked, and I think if you really want to nerd out on it, there's infinite amount of details for something that's so simple. And like I said, it's just pork and salt, and you can hang something up and make something. But it all depends on the environment and the temperature, and there's the time, and even microbiological factors. It can get quite scary. So I think in the beginning, if you're looking at making products, start simple and then just work your way up. Yeah.
When you're making small goods, take us through the process for yourself. You've been a chef and created dishes and seen the joy in a dining room of diners eating, but when you've created a product and you've nailed it, like how does that feel for you?
It's funny. Like I said, even when we were doing the sausages, and when they started to get to a point where they were good, you're tasting it like, fire, it's like I bought one. It feels like a product. It feels like a legitimate product, and it makes you proud, particularly when we're selling these products now, and we're stoked if anyone wants to purchase them and put them on their menu. But we're really lucky because a lot of venues will name check it on the menu as LPs, whatever, and like we don't ask for that, but it's just a nice gesture and nod that maybe we're doing a good job. I think it's good.
Not that long ago, you released a pretty epic book.
Yeah.
Books aren't easy to pull together. What was that process like for you, and what's the outcome been like?
So the book was, it was an amazing experience. I always wanted to write a cookbook. I love books. I collect books. And yeah, I guess that was another opportunity that came up. Like, the guys at Murdoch reached out, and we did float this idea, I think, before COVID, and didn't quite come to fruition. But then we revisited it after we'd built the processing area, and we sort of became a bit more of a legitimate producer, and so it made sense. So we wrote the book and had an awesome team at Murdoch, and Dave Matthews obviously helped write the book, and he was a huge help. He got it straight away, and he was an ex-chef as well, so he was good. And then just having the book, that's a real surreal moment, because you write it, you're done, you don't think about it, and then all of a sudden there's this book placed in your hand, and it's out. It's pretty crazy. The book came out like within a week. I think it was Australia, UK, America. It was everywhere, and
wow,
it's been really, really cool to see it. And we're getting messages like, I got one the other day. This guy was like, hey chef, I'm just wondering, instead of smoking the mortadella, can I just bake it? Cheers, from Paolo in Costa Rica. I was like, oh my god, people making mortadella in Costa Rica. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
that's amazing.
So it's been cool. Yeah,
you said something amazing at the top of the show about how you did butchery like way back in sort of chef school in New Zealand, but you never thought you'd be a butcher.
Yeah.
Now you're sort of here and thriving. Like, what do you love about sort of what you're doing here?
I mean, I just love I'm a bit of a sucker for processes, I think, and I love repetition, and I feel like with more of a factory setting, it's probably hones in a bit more of that sort of day-to-day, start the same each day, and we have a briefing in the morning, work out what we're going to do, and I guess it's getting like a run sheet for a restaurant in a way, but we get a briefing, work out what we're going to do, and then from there we start breaking down all the parts and making the mince and making the kits, and we have it all organized in batches of what we're going to do, and then they make the products, and then we get to clean the whole place down with a gurney and spray it out, and it smells good and it's clean, and that's nice, when all the products are packed up and in boxes and they're sort of going out the door, and that's pretty cool.
Now that you got this big new facility and there's some potential for newer opportunities, how do you see the next sort of couple of years? Do you have a plan to do some interesting things? Yeah,
so there's definitely some new products that we've been wanting to do for a long time, that we just haven't sort of been able to get our head around, and so I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too early, but there's definitely some more fermented products, and I think that's pretty well the direction we'll sort of head.
That's pretty exciting. Yeah. And mate, as ever, it's amazing to catch up with you. I can't wait to see you downstairs.
Yeah.
Look forward to catching up again soon.
No, 100%. Good to see you.
This is The Crackling, a Deep in the Weeds production in partnership with PorkStar. I'm Anthony Huckstep. Stay tuned as we catch up with some of Australia's best chefs and pork producers to discover what makes Australian pork so special.